Have you ever heard a promise so big it short-circuits your brain? The kind of claim that makes you pause, laugh, and then wonder, could it possibly be true? In a world where scams are everywhere, some stories are so outrageous they almost sound like the plot of a blockbuster movie. Imagine someone tells you there's a secret fund, your inheritance, called the White Spiritual Boy Fund. It's whispered about in hushed tones, passed along in cryptic messages, and always just out of reach. The story goes that this fund is hidden away, waiting for ordinary South Africans to claim what's rightfully theirs. But this isn't just a few rands, or even a few million. We're talking about $700 quintillion, an amount so vast it's almost impossible to comprehend. That's more money than all the world's economies combined, multiplied many times over. That's a 7 with 20 zeros. Try to picture it, 700 and sextillion. It's a number so big it almost loses all meaning, like trying to count every grain of sand on every beach in the world. They say it's South Africa's stolen birthright, hidden by a global cabal, just waiting to be unlocked. The story is irresistible. A secret fortune, stolen from the people, locked away by shadowy elites, and now finally within reach, if only you know the right people. This isn't a joke, it's a real scam, spreading through WhatsApp like wildfire, promising instant wealth and justice. The messages are everywhere, forwarded by friends and family, each one more urgent than the last. They prey on hope, on desperation, and on the dream that maybe, just maybe, this time it's real. All you need to do is pay a small fee to unlock your share. Just a little bit up front, they say, and you'll be set for life. It's a classic trick. Promise the world, ask for a little, and disappear with everything. It's the ultimate lottery ticket, a fantasy that all our problems, poverty, inequality, load shedding, will vanish overnight. Who wouldn't want to believe that a single message could change their life and the lives of everyone around them? But this story is a ghost, a phantom limb of our economy, a pain for something that isn't there. It haunts our collective imagination, feeding on the wounds of the past and the struggles of the present. The White Spiritual Boy scam is a masterclass in misdirection, preying on the wound that our country's wealth never truly belonged to its people. It distracts us from the real issues, making us chase shadows while the real problems go unsolved. While we chase this $700 quintillion mirage, the real theft, the one happening right now, goes unnoticed. The true loss is not in imaginary fortunes, but in the resources and opportunities slipping through our fingers every day. We're staring at a ghost, while real thieves walk out the front door with our future. The promise of unimaginable wealth is just a distraction from the urgent work of reclaiming what's actually ours and building a future that belongs to everyone. Let's switch off the fantasy and tune into reality. While people forward messages about mythical fortunes, a real R175 billion leaves South Africa every year. We dig up platinum, chrome, gold, then ship them overseas raw, unprocessed, and unrefined. Someone else turns our minerals into high-value products and sells them back for a fortune. By exporting raw materials, we export jobs, innovation, and profits that should build our schools and hospitals. That R175 billion is the real loss, the salaries, businesses, and infrastructure we never see. This is the ghost we should be chasing, the slow, steady drain of our nation's wealth, happening in plain sight. Imagine your house is on fire, but you're fixated on a spider crawling up the wall. That's what happens when we obsess over scams like the White Spiritual Boy Fund. These scams don't just steal money, they steal our collective attention, hijacking the national conversation. Law enforcement wastes time debunking fantasies instead of investigating real economic crimes. Every hour spent on a scam is an hour not spent stopping the R175 billion leak. The scammers create so much noise we can't hear the real burglars at work. While we chase ghosts, the fire spreads, and our economic foundation weakens. Let's look at the facts. When you strip away the rumors, the conspiracy theories, and the wild stories, the numbers tell a story that's impossible to ignore. In the 1980s, mining was over 20% of South Africa's GDP, and manufacturing was strong. Factories buzzed with activity, and the country was known for turning its mineral wealth into real products, creating jobs and building communities. Today, mining hovers at just 7 to 8% of GDP, and manufacturing has all but collapsed. The once busy factory floors now stand silent, and the industrial heart of the nation has faded. We're still digging things up, but we've lost the ability to turn them into value here at home. Instead of exporting finished goods, we ship out raw minerals, missing out on the real profits and the jobs that come with them. Fewer factories mean fewer skilled jobs, and a country that's become dangerously dependent on the unpredictable prices of raw commodities. The ripple effects are everywhere: families struggling, communities shrinking, and opportunities vanishing. That our $175 billion annual loss isn't just a statistic, it's proof of a broken model that's failing ordinary South Africans year after year. The white spiritual boy scam obscures this reality, tapping into the feeling that the system is rigged. It distracts people with fantasies of hidden fortunes, while the real issues go unaddressed. But the real problem isn't a hidden stash of quintillions. It's a broken industrial strategy, a failure to invest in our own capacity to create and innovate. Our real wealth is siphoned away, leaving us with a hollowed-out economy and a future that feels increasingly uncertain. The numbers don't lie, but the stories we tell ourselves can keep us from seeing the truth. A successful scam spreads like a virus, exploiting South Africa's wounds. The white spiritual boy story echoes real historical trauma, wealth controlled by a small elite. It taps into a sense of injustice, offering a simple enemy and a magical solution. The scam creates a community built on a shared delusion, isolating believers from reality. Doubters are labeled sellouts and facts can't penetrate the bubble. This is how a simple con becomes a national distraction, replacing real engagement with false hope. Why demand accountability when a magical payday is just around the corner? The scam keeps us passive, waiting for a savior instead of demanding real change. Hope is powerful, especially in a country with deep inequalities. The white spiritual boy scam sells hope in its purest form, a lifeline for those drowning in debt and despair. But this hope is a double-edged sword. It comforts, but also inflicts deep damage. People lose money they can't afford, families are torn apart, and disappointment turns to shame. Trust in institutions and each other erodes, making real empowerment harder. The scam deflects blame onto government and banks, deepening cynicism. If you've been burned by a fake promise, you're less likely to believe in real opportunities. The hurt is not just financial, it's a wound to the spirit, making progress even harder. How do we fight a ghost and real theft at the same time? The answer lies in a two-pronged attack, one that tackles both the invisible threat of misinformation and the very tangible danger of mineral theft. These challenges may seem worlds apart, but they are deeply connected, feeding off each other and undermining our future. First, we need relentless public education, myth-busting with compassion, not ridicule. It's about reaching every community, every age group, and every corner of the country with clear, honest information. We must empower people to question what they hear, to seek out facts, and to protect themselves and their families from deception. We must acknowledge the pain and desperation that make scams so appealing and teach people to spot red flags before it's too late. By building trust and understanding, we can help communities become more resilient and less vulnerable to manipulation. Inoculate our national consciousness against these viral lies, arming ourselves with knowledge so that misinformation loses its power to divide and exploit us. Second, we must get serious about securing our mineral wealth. Our resources are a national treasure, and protecting them is not just about locking doors. It's about building systems that are strong, transparent, and accountable. We need to invest in cutting-edge technology to track resources from ground to port, using tools like blockchain for transparency and digital ledgers for accountability. This way, every ounce of mineral is accounted for, and every transaction is visible. By tightening controls, we make it harder for companies to underdeclare or smuggle minerals, ensuring that the wealth of our land benefits all South Africans, not just a select few. We must also invest in beneficiation, processing minerals here at home, creating jobs, building skills, and adding value before our resources ever leave our shores. By connecting our resources, our minds, and our collective energy, we can build a thriving, advanced manufacturing sector that drives innovation and opportunity for generations to come. Don't just plug the leak, build a stronger bucket. Let's move from defense to offense, transforming our challenges into a foundation for lasting prosperity and national pride. In the end, it's a choice: chase phantom fortunes or claim our real inheritance. Wake up from the daydream and focus on tangible reality. Demand radical transparency, a full, independent audit of our mineral sector. Bring the numbers into the light. This is our wealth, and we have a right to see the books. This isn't just government's job, it's everyone's. Journalists, academics, activists, and citizens must stay informed and engaged. Let's reject illusions and embrace the hard work of building real prosperity. Our future isn't hidden in a secret fund, it's in our soil, waiting to be claimed and built for all.